Well, Gary puts together my newsletters. I'm very, very busy. I do a lot of writing, and I'm kind of a control freak, so I like to do them myself, but we know that it's all about leverage and all about the value of my time. I can't be spending it putting the letter together. And Gary just does a fantastic job putting it together for me. And he uses some of my articles, some of our other brilliant TTI people's articles, and now he's even using my articles in other people's newsletters. So he's got this great bank of information, and he puts it together, and then I just do the last minute tweaks, and there we go. I put my own newsletter together for probably, I don't know, at least a year anyway. And then I sort of reluctantly let it go to Gary. And the best comments that I've had have been since he's been putting it together. So obviously he's good at what he does, and I'm good at what I do. So if I would be doing a coaching session during the time it would take me to put the newsletter together, which is usually it would be an afternoon for me at least, and then typos and technology things, which I'm not really all that great at, to say the least. I would say that he's probably saving me $1,000, maybe $2,500 a month, something like that, depending on what I would be doing with my time instead of doing the newsletter.
I've known Sorrell Associates in the newsletter. I was an early adopter of that concept. It has brought us an opportunity to keep constant contact with our clients even when we can't be face-to-face with them, bringing our message to them, bringing solution answers to them with the customized content that Sorrell Associates puts together for us on our interval of delivery, whether that be in a hard copy product or through the internet. It really has enabled us to focus on what we do best, and that's interacting and helping our customers, plus bringing us good, relevant content that our customers can appreciate and enjoy from us until we get our next opportunity to have impact. In today's world, if you're not marketing, you're going out of business. And as a newsletter world, I'm looking at this as a means to ramp or multiply exponentially my touches. So when we make an investment in having Gary provide that service to us, him and his team down there actually save us money as opposed to spending money. It's an investment into future business as opposed to being a cost in our budget. Sorrell Associates, his unique selling proposition is that it's custom. He will take the necessary time to understand what my needs are specifically and then tailor my newsletter, which is based on his insights, to meet my customers' objectives. So it represents me and my brand as opposed to being generic off-the-shelf product.
I have been using Gary's newsletter now. I'm trying to remember. It has to be at least 4 or 5 years. And every time one goes out, I get a phone call from a client. A phone call, an email, a note saying, gee, I've been thinking about you. I'm so glad you sent out your newsletter. Or may I forward your newsletter to new clients? So it's always a lead generation for me, or it always gives me the opportunity to go into an existing client to offer a new piece of business. The return on investment, it's priceless because it always generates some type of contact with a client. Every time I send out a newsletter from Gary Sorrell's service, I get a client contact, I get a request for service. So the return on investment is priceless.
The experience has been a positive one for a number of years. I have used it on a bi-monthly basis for a long time, and now I am using it on a monthly basis in a new letter that is now being published through Constant Contact. One of the real advantages to the letter is that I don't have to create it, number one. Number two, that there's always a fresh idea. And the letter also contains some fun things, some quotes and some websites to go and take a look at. But one of the things that's working now in a wonderful way is I get a chance to add content to my website with the new format that I'm using. So when I get a letter from Gary or get an article from Gary and he populates it on Constant Contact for me, then I'm able to copy it and then make a PDF of it and add it to my website. Adds his credibility. We don't. His copyright is added, so it adds credibility to my site. It provides some additional content that I didn't have before. So it has been a good working relationship. Well, the investment is a conservative investment, and it's very difficult to track the ROI. When I first introduced the letter to my client base, I received lots and lots of kudos. Today, I am getting a higher hit rate on my newsletter than I had in a long time, and so I think that I don't know that I can give you an ROI. It is more a presence than it is anything else, and I think it's well worth having that presence.
The newsletter has offered me the opportunity to connect with my clients on a monthly basis without having virtually any work or any time invested. And it's allowed me to present a really, really professional image to my clients. So that's what I like about it so much. I've been able to develop my database from this as well, because whenever I do any kind of a group scenario, I get everybody's email address and they also get added to get the newsletter. So as they grow and prosper in their careers, they can continue to get the newsletter, they become decision makers, and they, in fact, I get more contracts from them because of that. So it's been a beautiful thing. Gary is so flexible. Because I'm Canadian, sometimes he puts in American stats, and I don't want those in my newsletter. I email him and tell him that I would like something different, and within 24 hours or so, I have a turnaround of another article that makes my newsletter really rock. So I've been really, really happy. This is the best investment I've ever made in terms of marketing my business, because it is so cheap. If I can't run an ad in Canadian dollars, about $200 a month it costs me. I can't hire someone to work for 8 hours and prepare a newsletter for me to do this. It's just phenomenal, and it allows me to open opportunities to clients so they see that I do more than just what they originally thought because of the nature of the articles. I chose to work with Gary because when I met him, I trusted him pretty much instantly, and then he talks the TTI language. I don't need to educate him about what I want or what I don't want. He knows what's important to me, what's valuable. Like, I'm so amazed by all the articles. I think I could have written this, but I'm far too busy or too lazy or something like that. But I could have done it, and so they're dead-on articles for me.
Gary's been a value-added associate with TTI for years. I've been with the company for 21 years, and he's been a great help to our other associates. He's had a tool that's been available, and we've had him at our conferences to share it with the others, and it's been a true benefit to them and saves them a lot of time from having to write their own newsletters. Now he's moving into the social media realm with having the blogs available as well as the online newsletters. So he's been really a great success and a great benefit for the organization.
Prior to using his services, I was spending up to 8 or 9 hours doing my own newsletter, but I just realized I just don't have the luxury to do that anymore. So when you're looking at saving yourself time, it's just a drop in the bucket. So I would encourage you to talk to Gary. Gary Services has helped me many ways. I can't tell you how often I get calls about the newsletter when it comes to using hiring assessments or talent management or even speaking engagements. I mean, if you don't keep your brand, your image in front of your clients, you're going to be losing money. I just want to say that Gary's services are outstanding. He's personable, he's friendly, he's quick, he provides a customizable solution so it's not just a plain old e-zine, and he's just a professional that you can trust. I've used him for many times, and I encourage you to do the same.
The advantages for working with Gary is that he really saves me time and helps me to give that professional look. He picks the articles that go in there. He has a whole library, but he doesn't always pick them. If I want to pick them, I can, and I can do a series, a sequence. I do the introductions. I add anything to it that I want. I can do my own articles, but he always helps to get that professional edge to make it really speak to my clients. I've had so many positive comments from my clients. They say, we love to get your newsletter. And Sometimes they'll say, we missed it, can we get the back copy? So I have the archives in my website, and so they can just go back to it whenever they want to. Gary is really great to do business with. He's so punctual for one, and then always very friendly and personable. And if I want any changes, he always does them. The newsletters are there. First of all, he sends me the draft, then I edit it and make any changes, and it's always done in that how can I help you kind of manner. The newsletter has really helped me to get a much wider exposure, and so I get people asking me about things that they never would have asked before. It helps to do that passive marketing, if you will, and really helps to build the business and to round it out. Giving me that professional look really helps to position me adequately, and not only adequately, but very positively in the community.
Oh, Gary's newsletter, the best success story I can tell you is we send it out to everyone. We customize it in the back, and it went to a client that we hadn't talked to in 18 months. And she said, wow, the article on it, I think it was a leadership article. She said, are you doing anything like that? I've just got a new job as a talent manager at Shell in the Gulf of Mexico. And we connected, we signed that contract. It was a very lucrative contract for us. And that was just one of the newsletters that Gary does. They're always up to date. I have people that call us every single month thanking us for the information. It's a key part of our business. Oh, Gary's the easiest person in the world to do business with. Anything you want to add, anything you want to change, he's all over it. He sends up information that he thinks we might be interested in, that might be a part of our business. He keeps in touch on a personal level. He doesn't just send out a newsletter. I would say, if I had to I'm just pulling it out of the air right now, I would say at least $250,000 a year to us in business it brings in, and the way it makes us look easily.
I'm a kind of a lazy guy, and writing is not my thing. But I know that in order to stay in contact with my clients, I needed something to reach out and touch them on a daily basis, or at least on a monthly basis. And I've used Gary's newsletter for 10 years. I get comments on it every single solitary month, and it's just been a godsend for me. So I'll never stop using it. You know, not only once in a while we get that urge to write, so I can modify the newsletter and send him things, and he cooperates with me if we have a special date that we want to put on it. He and his brother are just a great team, and you know, anybody that needs to have that touch point, Sorrell Associates, that's the place. Well, I don't know that you can. It's more of an intrinsic feeling that you're dealing with your customers on an ongoing process, and not taking care of your customers. One of my friends used to say to me, "It's not your customer's job to remember you. It's your job to remember your customers." And this is that touch point. It's that reach. I think it's almost like it's priceless.